with all the madness going on around us, we can sometimes forget the long-term madness going on in the world of corporate America, but that's why we have the 0 hour. Case in point, Apple CEO Tim Cook. Now, I was just in Ireland, and did you know that Apple is an Irish corporation? Did you know that Apple was founded in Ireland? Well, actually, it's not true, of course, that it was founded in Ireland. Steve Jobs' father was an immigrant to this country. It was founded in California, but for tax purposes, that is, for purposes of paying its corporate taxes, most of Apple's profit goes through an Irish subsidiary where it can be billed at an extraordinarily low, something in the neighborhood of 2% tax rate. Now bear that in mind when I tell you about this story that was recently in the New York Times. The headline, Apple's Tim Cook, that of course the CEO, barnstorms for quote unquote moral responsibility. Tim Cook was on the stump saying the reality is that government for a long period of time, for whatever set of reasons, has become less functional and isn't working at the speed it once was. And so it does fall, I think, not just on business, but on all other areas of society to step up. Now, Mr. Cook was talking, and the reporter, by the way, is the very corporate-friendly Andrew Ross Sorkin, was talking about a visit he'd had the night before to the LBJ Presidential Library, and Tim Cook said, quote, "One of the things that hits you," and meaning about LBJ's presidency, "is all of the major acts, legislation that happened during just his presidency." And he lists them: the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Act, Medicare, Medicaid, national parks, Head Start, housing discrimination, jury discrimination address. And he's just marveling at all of this. But what Tim Cook misses, he says, he concludes, regardless of your politics, you just look at it and you say, my gosh. Well, no, not exactly. We appreciate where you're going, Mr. Cook, we do. But you should look at it and say, my taxes. Medicare, Medicaid, all of these programs were put together when billionaires and corporations paid far more in taxes than they do today. They were also, Lyndon Johnson's presidency occurred at a time when big money had not corrupted politics to the extent that it has today. So I applaud Tim. I really do. I applaud Tim Cook's appreciation for those very progressive accomplishments of the LBJ Presidential Library. We'll leave out Vietnam, but these very progressive domestic accomplishments. But if he really wants a country that can accomplish this sort of thing, Tim Cook is going to have to accept that he and his class of corporate leaders have to step away from their control over our political system and start paying their fair share of taxes so that we can once again become that country.